Welcome everyone. This is Yoga with Alexis, and it's going to be a 20-minute reset yoga practice. I want to just encourage you first to find a comfortable position. This could be laying down or seated, whatever you prefer in this moment. Maybe even bringing a hand to your chest and a hand to your belly, and just starting to settle into the moment. This is your time to take a break from your day, to reset, focus on yourself, your body, and your breath. Maybe noticing just how you're feeling, noticing any emotions that come up for you or physical sensations, and just giving yourself an intention for these next 20 minutes to just be with you. To be in touch with your body. Invite you to start to drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Give that left side of your neck a nice stretch here. You can even place your hands on your neck to provide additional support for this little side stretch. And just notice how that feels. And as you're ready on an inhale, you can bring your head back up to center and gently drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Again, inviting you to bring your hands to your neck for that support. Just to find a space that feels good for you. And on an inhale, coming back to center, go ahead and drop your chin towards your chest. So really opening up the back of the neck. This can be pretty tender, so just being mindful here. If you need to have that support with the hands, you always can. And on an inhale, bringing the head back up to center. And gently, you're going to interlace your fingertips and bring them to the back of your neck. And just slowly start to drop your head back. You can have your eyes open or closed. And just let your neck relax into your hands, giving yourself that nice open space, using your hands as support for the neck. Good. And as you're ready, go ahead and come up to center. We're going to go and look over our right shoulder. Good. And as you're ready, bringing that head back to center, this time looking over your left shoulder and just being mindful here of the neck, especially if you've been seated all day, looking at a computer or looking down. And as you're ready, coming back to center on an inhale, we're going to go ahead and lift our left arm up towards the ceiling, really getting a nice side stretch here. If you'd like, you can place your right hand down onto the mat next to you or even bring it around to your side just to give you some additional support. And if the neck feels okay here, feel free to look up towards the ceiling. You can even bend that right elbow to get yourself a little bit more extension up the left side of the body. I sometimes like to rock into it a little bit to just get a little bit bigger of a breath here, a little bit more length in that left side body. And as you're ready on an exhale, go ahead and bring that left arm down and inhale the right arm up towards the ceiling. Placing that left hand down on the mat next to you. Notice how it feels on this side. If it feels okay, feel free to look up towards the ceiling, maybe bending that elbow and rocking into that side body so the right side body is getting really nice extension here. Even using your breath, even thinking like an inhale, really lengthen. Exhale, try to see if you can go into that space that you just created. And on an exhale, bringing that right hand down to the mat. Inhale, both arms up towards the ceiling, bringing palms together. Exhale, hands in front of the chest at heart center. Taking a nice breath here. As you're ready, inhale, both arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands down towards your mat at the side. Inhale, arms back up towards the ceiling, palms together. Exhale, hands down in front of your chest. Inhale, hands back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, back down towards the side. Keep going through this on your own. So inhale brings you up, hands together. Exhale in front of your chest. Take a breath or two here. As you're ready again, inhale, hands back up, and exhale, hands down towards the side. So really, you're just giving yourself some time to move through your own flow here. Use that breath. We're going to start to get into the spine a bit. As you're ready, we're going to take an inhale, bend the elbows, looking up towards the ceiling, the chest goes out. Exhale, curl yourself in, straighten the arms, look towards your belly button. Inhale again, bend the elbows, chest goes out, looking up. Exhale, straighten the arms, curl yourself in, looking towards the belly button. Great, so feel free to move through this on your own a little bit. You can go as fast or slow as you'd like. I really encourage you to feel into it. Feel the spine lengthening, feel the spine contracting. As you move through that a few times, start to move the spine in any way that feels good for you. So maybe you want to move side to side, feel free to do that. Maybe you want to move the shoulders a little bit, forward and back. Just inviting you to feel into your body, feel into what needs some movement here. We're going to start to create a little bit of energy here. On an inhale, we're going clockwise first. Inhale is going to bring you forward. Exhale, straight arms pushes you back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, pushes you back. So keep moving with this movement. Really, we're going to start with small circles first. As that starts to feel good for you, you can increase the circle a little bit. And as you're ready, we're going to switch directions, going counterclockwise. So same thing here. Inhale, bend the arms, brings you forward. Exhale, straight arms, pushes you back. Starting again with small circles and having them increase as your hips open up a little bit here and your spine opens up. Good. And once you've moved through that a few times, coming back to that seated position. To help myself get centered, I decided to rub my hands together to create a little bit of heat and then place my hands onto my chest to help me be present in this moment. As you're ready, we're going to go ahead and make our way to a tabletop position. Hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. And then I just encourage you to move the spine, move the body in any way that feels good here. Maybe shaking the hips side to side, moving through a few cat-cows, shaking off the wrists and the arms, letting the head and the neck just fall down to the ground and sway side to side, maybe moving your hips back towards your heels. And as you're ready, we'll go ahead and move into a downward dog by lifting our hips up and back. You can pedal the feet by lifting one heel, lifting the other heel. You can give yourself a nice stretch here by bending the knees a lot to kind of go into a little squat here. And when you're in downward dog, you can use the fingertips to grip the mat to really push the hips back and up. And as you're ready, you can step your feet up towards the top of your mat, coming into a forward fold. You can always place your hands onto the mat. You can also add a block underneath your fingertips to give you a little bit more space. I sometimes like to grab my opposite elbows and bend my knees a lot, resting my belly onto my legs. Just see what feels good in this posture for you. And as you're holding onto opposite elbows, you can stretch your elbows towards the floor, getting a nice lengthening here in the spine. And as you're ready, go ahead and place your hands on your mat, looking forward to a half lift. Exhale, curl yourself in, forward fold. You can even grab the backs of your calves to pull yourself in. Inhale towards your half lift, straight spine looking forward. Exhale, curl yourself back into that forward fold. Inhale one more time, half lift, straight spine looking forward, lifting yourself up. And exhale again, forward fold, curling yourself in. As you're ready, go ahead and circle sweep hands outwards on an inhale, coming all the way up towards the ceiling in a standing position. Bring the palms together. Exhale, hands down in front of your chest. Inhale, arms back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, circle sweep them down towards your mat. Inhale to that half lift, looking forward. Exhale, place your hands on your mat. We're going to go ahead and walk our feet towards the back of your mat, placing knees down onto the ground. And on exhale, we're going to lower ourselves all the way down to the mat, pressing the tops of our feet into the mat, lifting our kneecaps. And on an inhale, lift yourself up into cobra. Elbows are still bent, nice and tight to the body. Exhale, lower yourself all the way back down. We're going to interlace our hands behind our back. Inhale again, lifting yourself up, making sure you're pressing tops of the feet into the ground so your kneecaps rise, looking up towards the ceiling. Good. Exhale, lower yourself down, gently drop the hands to the side. And when you're ready, on an inhale, you can lift yourself up into cobra with bent elbows or into a full upward facing dog with straight arms. And on an exhale, curl the toes under, lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. So really stretching from the fingertips, pushing those hips back and up. You can lift the heels here if that feels good. And as you're ready, on an inhale, step your feet towards the top of your mat. Inhaling towards that half lift. Exhale, curling yourself in, forward fold. Inhale, arms circle sweep out towards the side and up towards the ceiling, bringing hands to heart center. Inhale, hands all the way back up. Exhale, circle sweep them down towards your mat. Inhale, half lift, straight spine. Exhale, place your hands on your mat. You can step, hop, float your feet all the way back. You can also keep your knees down if that feels better. Take an inhale, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to that upward facing dog. Exhale, curl your toes under, lift your hips up and back, downward dog. Pushing from the fingertips, getting a nice stretch here. Heels start to fall closer to the mat. And as you're ready, look at your hands. You can step, hop, or float your feet towards the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Then we're going to take our 2 peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes. Take an inhale, half lift with the grip. Exhale, curl yourself in, holding on to your big toes. Elbows are going out. Getting a really nice stretch here up the back of the legs. And as you're ready, go and release the grip. You can shake out the legs a little bit, bending one knee, bending the other knee. Inhale, circle sweep arms up towards the ceiling, bringing palms together on an exhale in front of your chest. We're going to go ahead and widen our stance quite a bit. We're going to go into Malayasana squat. So however you would like, we're going to come down to a squat position. There's options here. You can keep your feet flat on the ground. If it feels better for you, then you can add a blanket or a cushion of some sort underneath your heels to give you a little bit more space. You can even use the elbows to push your knees out gently to open up the hips a little bit. And just being really mindful here. This is a pretty deep hip stretch, so you can add again like a cushion or roll up a blanket underneath the heels, or even you can add a block underneath you to sit on a little bit to provide more support. You can stay here for as long as you'd like. But when you're ready, go ahead and lift your hips up, straight legs. Bring your feet all the way back. Inhale, bringing your shoulders over your wrists. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lifting yourself into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, curl your toes under, lift your hips up and back, downward dog. Go ahead and look at your hands, step, hop, float your feet towards the top of the mat. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, forward fold, curling yourself in. Inhale, arms out towards the side and up to the ceiling, palms together. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Taking a breath here. As you're ready, inhale your hands back up towards the ceiling. If you'd like, on an exhale, give yourself a nice little back bend here. You can even provide support with hands on your lower spine. And when you're ready, exhale, hands all the way down towards the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, place your hands on your mat. Step, hop, float your feet back. Inhale, shoulders are over the wrists. Remember, your knees can always be down if you prefer. On an exhale, lower yourself down, keeping elbows in. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, curl your toes under, lift your hips up and back, downward dog. Great, taking a few breaths here. Letting your breath come back to center, letting it slow down. We're going to go into a child's pose when you're ready. Make our way to cooling down, bringing the heart to rest. So you can drop the belly in between the legs if that feels good, arms out straight. You can also keep your knees in together and rest your belly onto your legs. If it feels better for you, feel free to place your hands by your side. And just notice if you can rock side to side with your forehead on your mat, giving yourself a nice forehead massage here. If your arms are out in front of you, sometimes it can feel nice to bring your hands together. Then you'll just bring them above your head. And with this variation, you may feel a slight stretch in the back of the arms. It can also feel really nice to place a pillow or blanket underneath your belly just for even more support. Good, and as you're ready, slowly coming out of the child's pose. However you would like, we're going to make our way down to laying onto our mat. And just give your spine a moment to adjust to laying down onto the mat. And when you're ready, go ahead and hug your right knee into your chest. If it feels better for you, you can bring it out and around your right rib cage. You might feel a slight pinch in that right hip. You can always back off if it feels like too much. Another thing I like to add is if you want to add a blanket or a pillow underneath your knees for additional support on your lower back, you can do that as well. Taking one more inhale and hugging that right knee into the chest. On an exhale, extend the right leg, let it fall towards your mat. Inhale, left knee into your chest or around the left rib cage. Just notice if you can use the breath to hug the knee a little bit tighter on an exhale. Next exhale, going to release that left leg down to your mat. And when you're ready, inhaling both knees into your chest, giving them a nice squeeze. You can maybe grab your fingertips or opposite elbows around your knees. And if it feels good here, feel free to rock side to side. Inhale, let your belly rise. Exhale, see if you can pull a little bit deeper. Inhale, belly rise. Exhale, go ahead and extend the legs back down to your mat, finding your final resting posture. So Shavasana can be any way that feels good for you. If you want to just extend your legs out, you can do that. I also invite you, if you're near a wall, to put your legs up the wall. That can also feel really nice and really calming for your nervous system. So just notice you can have palms face up or face down to your sides next to you. Another thing that can feel really nice is if you want to have one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. And notice just how your breath goes in and out. As you breathe in, your belly rises. As you breathe out, your belly falls. Maybe notice any areas that you are carrying any leftover tension. And I want to invite you to use the breath to release any of that tension. On an exhale, see what you can do to relax any of those areas that you feel like are still holding on to something. You can let them go. Let yourself take one nice final breath here, releasing anything. And then I invite you to maybe lift your arms, lift your legs, wiggle your toes and your feet to just slowly wake up the body. And as you're ready, coming to a seated position, checking in with the body, checking in with the breath. And I invite you to take some final big breaths here. Inhaling through your nose, and exhale, really let it out in a sigh. Inhale again, exhale, breathe it out, let it out. Shake off any stagnant energy from your day so you can carry on and move through your day with more ease, more peace, more compassion. Thank you for joining. I hope this helped you reset, and I hope you can carry on with the rest of your day.